What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. My Instagram is Dream Rare. Follow me on Instagram. My Twitter is Legendary Energy. Check out my website at legendary.vision. And of course, check out my Facebook videos. I just dropped one about Charlottesville. I've done about 4 or 5 on Charlottesville, but this one is more updated about the modern situation and a lot of the evidence that has surfaced over the past week. And I wanted to take this specific video to answer some people. I have a lot of Democrats and progressives who follow me, and they say, Anomaly, are you a right wing or a conservative? How come all your videos are in one direction? And to be honest, I appreciate people listening to me if it's outside of their frame of thinking or their political party. I appreciate that the most, because these are the people I'm trying to connect with. I'm trying to unify all people. So I think it's a very fair question, and I think it's about time I answered that, since people have been posting it on my videos for the past couple months or so, if not the past year. So to answer that, no, I'm not right-wing, no, I'm not conservative, no, I'm not Republican, but I see what's going on, and I'm going to explain, if you pay attention and listen to me, exactly why I'm making this videos and why it's really important. So outside of all the identity politics, the race, religion, the gender, the calling people names, there's 2 very fundamental differences, even when I didn't care about politics, 2 very fundamental differences between a conservative and a progressive. Those are the wings: the left wing, the progressive; the right wing, the conservative. And it is, the right wing believe in a smaller government, the freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, basic rights of the Constitution. This is what conservatives and libertarians are about. You could say they're all racist, you could say they're all sexist, this and that, but a majority of them, if not all of them, the real things they care about are freedom of guns, freedom of speech, and a smaller, limited government. More power to the people, less power to the government. The progressive wing is the exact opposite. They want more power to the government. They want to take more of your taxes, whether it's 30, 40, 50%, 60%. You know, some people on the higher end, like Bernie Sanders, and they want to expand government and make it bigger. So I don't understand why this concept is so confusing to people. I guess because the news doesn't talk about it. But to me, seeing that government, when it gets too much power, becomes very, very, very corrupt, and it's happened here, it's happened in multiple other places, it's not a good thing. And I know Bernie Sanders supporters know that. I know Obama supporters and Hillary supporters know that. They're scared of Trump. They think he has too much power. They think the government has too much power. It's mostly because nobody's been paying attention or listening to conservative and libertarians for the past 10 years. You've been too busy demonizing them to actually listen to them and realize, oh wait, maybe we do need freedom of speech. Maybe we do need the right to bear arms. I'm not a big gun fanatic personally. I'm not like the biggest gun fan per se, but I'm very happy that the United States has the right to bear arms, because I strongly feel if we didn't, that there would be even bigger government tyranny and even bigger, interventions on the people. I see what the elites who run the United States and the world are doing, because all of their information has come out over the past 5-10 years. The difference between me and a lot of people that yell at me are, I read it, I comprehend it, I not only see what the news says about Donald Trump, I see what the news doesn't say about what the news is doing and what these politicians are doing. So I see what they're doing. And a lot of the conservatives and libertarians and even modern day progressives understand now, they're 100% right that there are factions within the government that have started long before Donald Trump and even before Barack Obama, that have been slowly taking more and more and more and more power, while the media companies that run the United States, when Malcolm X was alive and screaming about, hey, the media is corrupt, the media is making heroes look like enemies and enemies look like heroes, it has since consolidated and become more and more connected. So we have the late great Malcolm X trying to warn the people about how the media can literally frame people. You have the Nazi propagandist of Germany, Joseph Goebbels, who has multiple quotes out that just says, give me the government, or give me the media, I'll run the whole world. Just give me the media. That's all I need to control people. And that media control has consolidated and consolidated and consolidated. And since, it even looks like merging with certain tech companies, some of the biggest tech companies. You see Google now demonetizing and taking money away from basically all their users. You know who's not getting money taken away? The major corporations. They're the ones who told Google to take the money away from people. So you have government getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, while the media has convinced the entire country to demonize the conservatives and libertarians who want to limit that, who want to keep your free speech, who want to keep your guns, who want to keep your freedom, who want to get government out of your life, who want to lower your taxes. And they've somehow convinced the whole country to hate these people and not listen to a single thing that they're saying, by framing small events, by taking a fringe group of ignorant people within the movement and putting the microscope on them. And I see it in media. I'm very left-leaning by nature. I care about the environment, I care about people, I care about social justice, I care about racial inequality. These are things I legitimately, actually, factually, realistically care about. And I see all of those arguments being spewed out 20-fold and not even in an honest way. So we're not getting any more racial equality. We're not getting environmental help because the quote-unquote left, my friends, my brothers and sisters who are supposed to be the liberals saving the world, they're actually destroying the entire world. They're lying about everything. They're trying to take away people's free speech. They're trying to take away people's guns. They're trying to make government bigger, all while yelling and screaming and not listening. And I see this. And this is why I make videos. I don't make videos to shill for a certain party. I'm making videos literally to try to save and help humanity and my country as best as I can, because that is literally my only agenda. I have other things I would love to do. I'd love to be making music or doing other things. I just can't wake up in the morning, look at the news, and I'm realizing these people are losing their minds and they're going to destroy my country, much like politicians have destroyed other countries, and nobody seems to care. The people that are telling the truth are getting demonized and suppressed, and the fringe ignorant people from all sides are getting microscopes on. And this isn't just a me thing. If it was everybody that knew what I'm saying right now, I wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have to stand up for libertarians and conservatives, the tens of hundreds of millions of these people that exist that you want to act like they don't. Because I talk to them all the time. Even people that aren't politically affiliated, they see what the modern day left is doing, and they can't stand it. They just don't want to speak up about it because they're afraid of you. I've talked to black people, I've talked to white people, to Latinos. Hundreds of millions of people know what's going on. It's called the silent majority. The people that don't want to speak up because you've used media sources and you've used celebrities and certain events to frame everything in one direction and demonize 100 million people who are afraid to speak up because they're going to lose their jobs, because you frame the conversation in such a way to say, if you support Donald Trump, or if you're a conservative and you're a libertarian and you want to stop even Mike Pence or a Barack Obama or a Bernie Sanders, that you're some sort of woman-beating, ignorant white supremacist. And it's just not true. It's not even remotely true. It's actually completely ass backwards and 100% false. And you don't have any conservatives, you don't have any libertarians, you don't have any people like me on the Stephen Colberts and on the Chelsea Handlers and on, you know, the Rachel Maddows and on the Don Lemons and on the CNNs and MSNBC, because they don't want you to know that's what it is, because they're the ones controlling the power. They want to give themselves more power. They want to give themselves more press attention, and it's getting out of control so much that Google, who has worked with Democrats, and it is 100% factual confirmed information that they are linked to these people that are trying to take more and more and more power, they're filtering searches now. They're demonetizing, kicking everybody off their platform, at least in a financial standpoint. People that are making millions, tens of hundreds of millions of dollars, now zero. And nobody seems to care. I mean, does this not seem like a big deal to you? Am I the only one talking about it? No, I'm not. A lot of independent journalists are talking about it. And guess what? All of your best progressive independent journalists and left-leaning journalists and journalists that you like more than me, that you think aren't, as conservative or right-wing or whatever, which I'm not. But those type of people that you love, they're not going to be around very much longer, because these platforms are trying to kick them off and kick them out of existence in such a way that it's almost justifying the argument that some are having that they're completely trying to purge a certain group of people. And we've seen it in the past. We only select certain parts of history, jam it down our throats, and then act like that's the only part of history. What about the part of history where your Martin Luther Kings, your Malcolm X, your Armenian genocides, where they took all of the intellectual people, rounded them up, killed them, and then killed millions of people? It's frighteningly similar to stuff like that. They're silencing all the independent journalists. They're silencing all the independent people. They're saying that free speech is wrong, and that your right to guns are wrong, and that prosperity is wrong, and that smaller government's wrong. Meanwhile, they're controlling people and making them act like complete lunatics to push their agenda of stealing everybody's freedom away. I mean, shouldn't that be what all Americans are concerned about? Why is that considered conservative or right-wing? Is that how controlled they have people? That I come out and just tell a normal truth like, hey, this is kind of wrong, and people jump down my throat and say, you're right-wing, you're conservative. Does that not show you how far we've gone? If you go too far right, it's not good. If you go too far left, it's not good. And even Google is manipulating searches for things like fascism and totalitarianism, saying that they're right-wing governments, when in reality, some of the most fascist and the most cruel governments in history were actually left-leaning, because that's how they got all the power. In reality, you're not going to get that big of a government doing right-wing things and conservative things and libertarian things, because when you're conservative and libertarian, outside of all the nonsense that they spew on the media every day to make people, they're actually limiting government, so they can't do all of those things in conservative. Meanwhile, they're lying and have everybody attacking anybody who's trying to stand up for free speech or stand up for the freedom of guns or saying this and that. This is why I make these videos. No, I'm not right-wing. No, I'm not conservative, but I do see, to me, it seems like they're trying to purge or silence or get rid of or act like they don't exist hundreds of millions of people. I didn't think it was okay when it was people of other colors of skin, from other countries, from other religions. I didn't think it was okay, and I don't think it's okay now. That's why I've done multiple videos and multiple songs and multiple research papers on the privatization of prisons and the fact that the United States, while we are the land of the free, we actually jail more of our citizens than any other country. So something is wrong. I've stood up for the black community. I've stood up for the Latino community. And now I'm standing up for conservatives and libertarians of every race, religion, and gender, because they have the right to exist without 100 million people calling them neo-Nazis and white supremacists when they're literally just good people from every race, religion, and gender. It's gotten so bad that people don't even know who the good conservatives and libertarians are. Someone, Milo Yiannopoulos, he is a gay, Jewish, British kid who brags about only liking to have black boyfriends. This is just what he says. He goes to try to speak at Berkeley, the school that founded free speech, and they shut him down with flags saying he's a neo-Nazi and he's a gay Jewish person. Jewish. Nazis don't like Jewish people. Ben Shapiro went to go speak at Berkeley. Ben Shapiro is a Jewish person who doesn't even like Donald Trump that much, who is just very honest and pretty blunt, and he's very normal and he's very nice and he's very socially forward. They're trying to shut him down from speaking, trying to take away his free speech at the college that founded free speech. This is how backwards things are, because they have convinced you that Democrats can do no wrong, that people who smile and joke on TV can do no wrong. And that's how they tricked you, because if you can convince everybody that these people can do no wrong, then they will keep doing the most foul, cruel things, and nobody's paying attention. How do I know this stuff? It's not actually a conspiracy. There's actually public documents dating back to 1950 and 1960 and 1970 and 1980 and 1990 and last year. And during the election, there were email leaks, and CNN told you, don't read them, don't read them. Well, guess what? Tens of millions of people read them, and guess what? It wasn't very pretty. You think this is a land that was sugar-coated with lollipops and rainbows and sunshine and butterflies before Donald Trump got into office? And I hate to break it to you, but that's 100% false. These things that everybody's going to find out about soon, because there's tens of millions of people working every single day to do that, and there's certain elements inside of Trump's campaign who probably has this information. But everybody's going to know about this stuff eventually, and you're going to come back to me and maybe thank me, maybe say sorry, maybe say nothing. I don't really care. But this is why I'm saying these things, because there's a complete balance shift, and it has nothing to do with helping women. It has nothing to do with helping the LGBT community. It has nothing to do with helping Muslims. It has nothing to do with helping Latino people. It has nothing to do with helping the black community. It has nothing to do with all the Asians and Indians and all other ethnicities of people that aren't trendy enough to make it on the news. The Hawaiians, the Texans, everybody. It has nothing to do with helping any of these people. It's 100% a power grab, and they're using the LGBT community, women and their emotions, liberals and their emotions, environmentalists and their emotions, and they're manipulating and using people to gain more power to do a bunch of terrible things. This is just what's happening. So when I see freedom of speech being taken away, when I see them trying to take everybody's guns, when I see them, trying to destroy the Constitution, and while I'm very open and liberal and free, I see the fact that they are destroying the family. All of these things that conservatives and, Christians and libertarians are saying, while I am not part of that element, they're 110% right. They are destroying the family. They are destroying the morality. They are destroying the spirituality of America. They are destroying, a lot of things that have made parts of this country great. And they're replacing it with something that's 20 times worse. And you have madness, and you have cell phones and people texting, and nobody knows how to interact anymore. Nobody knows how to have fun. We have all this stuff, but, it's not progression. At a certain point, we're regressing. And like people like Dave Rubin say, the regressive left. There's nothing progressive about the modern day progressive movement. I'm sorry. It's held together by Bernie Sanders, who is clearly lying, single-payer healthcare, which is putting all of the power and all of the healthcare into a single-payer government-run system, giving the government more power and more taxes. It's disastrous. the Democratic Party, I mean, if unless you live under a rock or close your eyes and ears and listen to Rachel Maddow and MSNBC the past 2 years, if you even opened YouTube or got at least one honest news source, you would know what the Democratic Party is made of and what the DNC did and what, this whole election was. And they lie about every conservative and every libertarian and every person that's not a liar. And that's why I make these videos. Someone like Alex Jones, you can't lie to me about Alex Jones because I have watched Alex Jones and seen his videos since I was 19 years old. So when the news tries to tell everybody who Alex Jones is, and everybody believes it because people just believe one headline, literally that's how dumb and easy to manipulate people are. All it takes is one headline, one story, and zap. They don't know anything. They can't intake any information. Alex Jones has never been right-wing in his entire life. There's nothing right-wing about Alex Jones. He was the only person brave enough and smart enough and strong enough who was talking truth about the Bush administration 2005 to 2008. So you can't lie to me on the news. The news says, oh my God, don't listen to Alex Jones. He's like anomaly. He's right-wing. First of all, I'm not right-wing. I've never been right-wing. I've never been conservative. And Alex Jones has never been a Republican. I know this because I've watched him for 10 years. And I saw him tell truths about George Bush and his connections to the Saudis and his connections to bin Laden. I saw him talk about this in 2006. Yet the media is so powerful, they can make everybody into instant dummies. Oh, well, he talked about he said he was faking his divorce case, so you can't lie to me about some stupid headline that was made 5 months ago, because I've watched him for 10 years, and I've seen for myself the things that he said back then that now all the dummies are just finding out about today. And everybody wants to hate on him. He's not right-wing either. He's just smart. He's just reading all of this information that nobody wants to read. They call him a conspiracy theorist. And I don't agree with everything that Alex Jones says. I don't think he's on point about everything. He's not me. I'm me. He's him. But half of the things that people think are so funny, they think, oh my God, he's crazy. He can prove all of them. Not with conspiracies, with actual documents that they release to everybody. But most people are just too dumb to put the pieces together or read them. It's like, where did he come up with that? They told you themselves. It's an official government document released to the public and then put in the Atlantic and then put in the Intercept. But only Alex Jones seems to be smart enough to read it and present it to his audience. So the level of stupidity, the level of backwardsness, the level of sheer ignorance from a side that claims to have the moral high ground, the side that claims to be against ignorant and hate. All I see is ignorant and hate. Do I agree with neo-Nazis and white supremacists? No, they're ignorant and stupid. I wouldn't want to be in a room with them. I wouldn't want to be near them. I wouldn't want to be associated with them. But that doesn't make liberals amazing people. What type of logic is that? That's how they've made the left so dumb, because they've been constantly having you point at other dumb people to make yourself feel less dumb, when in reality, you might be just as dumb, if not dumber. And it's the opposite of many religions and spiritualities. My whole mantra, a lot of things that helped me in my life, was stopping pointing the finger and pointing it back at myself and realize what I can do better. Because once upon a time, I was making excuses. I was blaming other people. The truth about life is, if you want to do it, you can do it. You just have to want it really, really bad. And you have to have persistence. And you have to be smart enough to know you need to learn more. You don't have to be a genius. You just have to not be stubborn. This is life. And they're teaching tens of hundreds of millions of people on both sides of the political spectrum. But for now, people are asking why I'm talking about conservative. They're teaching people that they're great, they're perfect, they're a victim. No matter what they do, if you're a woman, if you're a trans, if you're a different race, there's nothing you can do wrong. If you're a liberal, oh, you're good because you're standing up for everybody. You're a white liberal, you're standing up for the environment. You're a Latino liberal, you're good because we're going to take your votes. You know, they're just playing people for votes. And they're convincing you that you're this like superpower, superhuman, I'm here to save America because I'm not racist and I'm not sexist. Great. I'm not racist and I'm not sexist, but I'm also not dumb. I also don't get played. It doesn't make you smart pointing the finger at everybody else, pointing the finger at Trump, pointing the finger at neo-Nazis. Great. Let's play Where's Waldo. Let's spot the 5 neo-Nazis in America and call them losers. Good. Congratulations. They could go move to an island, go to jail, or do whatever. I don't care, because I hate them just as much. I dislike them just as much as you do. But that's not my whole life. My whole personality is not, hey, I'm the liberal who can point out racist people. That doesn't make you a good person. That doesn't make you smart. That makes you easy to manipulate, because then a big event happens, and then they can use that to justify the silencing of all YouTubers, and the silencing and the purge and the complete disillusion of 100 million conservatives and libertarians who in reality are just trying to keep your guns, just trying to keep your free speech, and just trying to keep your country from being overrun by complete lunatics. People think, oh my goodness, Donald Trump is going to really turn the government inside out. Do you know what the government has been doing? Have you been paying it? Do you know what lobbying is? Lobbying, invented in the 1980s and 1990s, and it's Republicans and Democrats. For this one, I'm not just picking on one side, I'm talking to both sides. They've been literally selling out the country to the highest bidder for the last 30 years. The pharmacy company, the coal company, whoever has the most money, they will sell your state or your country to the highest bidder. That's what lobbying is. It's not new. Actually, Donald Trump put a ban on it. No one's paying attention. It wasn't televised because they want people to be dumb. But lobbying has run our country for 30 years. Along came certain politicians who I won't name here. If you have any sort of, research or you've done other things, you'll figure it out yourself. But some other politicians came and they're like, you know what? I don't want to just sell out our country to corporations. I want to sell our country out to foreign countries. This is not Donald Trump. This is past politicians, past secretaries of states. They took it to a new level. They're like, you know what? We had a good time selling the whole country out to corporations and pharmacy companies and this and that. That was cool. That destroyed the working class family and the average black, white, Latino, whatever family. It's just destroying America. That's good. But let's move on to foreign countries now. Whatever foreign countries got a little bit of money, you could take a part of our media company. You could take a part of America. They sold our country out to corporations and foreign countries for years now. And Donald Trump gets in office and makes everybody dumb. They're like, oh my God, I think we might have worked with a foreign country. No, we've definitely worked with a foreign country, but probably not Russia. They broadcasted that for a year like a little shiny object. Hey, look at Russia while we do all this other stuff. Hey, look at Charlottesville while we do all this other stuff. I'm not saying there's not problems within Russia and Charlottesville, but I am saying much bigger, much crazier events have gone on that have affected much more people, but they use these events like shiny objects to continue to lie to you. So if you wonder, I appreciate everybody who listens to me. I appreciate Democrats. I appreciate libertarians. I appreciate conservatives, progressives, Muslims, Christians. I appreciate people from the United States. I appreciate my Australian supporters, my supporters in Syria, my supporters in Iran. I appreciate everybody. But if you wonder why my posts seem conservative or libertarian or right-wing, this is why. They've branded everything right-wing that isn't a lie to further manipulate and control people. That's literally what they've done. They're calling people right-wing that aren't right-wing so they can confuse you to hate that person, identify that person who they might be a gay progressive. I have a friend who's a gay progressive who writes pieces and who's funny and smart and just honest, and they call him a conservative because they want you to do that. Oh, gay progressive? No, conservative, neo-Nazi, Trump, neo-Nazi, oh, hate them all. They're using you like robots. I'm convinced it's not even real people at this point. Because that's really happening. I've never voted Republican. I've never voted conservative. But this is why my videos might seem conservative or Republican or whatever, because they're using modern events and tragedies and certain things and certain fringe people to paint an entire broad picture, and it's becoming a monopoly. It's a monopoly in the celebrity industry. You don't see any celebrities speaking out because they're afraid to lose their jobs. Tim Allen doesn't want to talk. Nobody wants to talk. They don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose their friends. In media, it's become a monopoly. The only news source on TV that even backs Trump or supports Trump or tells remotely the truth now, after me of hating them my whole life because they were super right-wing and super neocon, is Fox News. And now they're even being taken over. They're even being infiltrated. So this is what you're going to get if you continue to be stubborn and continue to say, Anomaly, you're so conservative now, you're so right-wing. What you're asking for is an entire monopoly. A monopoly of the media, a monopoly of entertainment, a monopoly of music, a monopoly of corporations, a monopoly of a country that you can't ever get somebody honest or get somebody good at the head of it, because they're going to infiltrate his administration like they've done. They've already convinced people to kick out Flynn and Bannon and all these people that are actually the only semi-decent people in the cabinet. Now they're all gone. I've tried to tell you all year. It's all good. I feel blessed. I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate America. I've lived a very blessed life. I've never had any problems. I know there's good people all over. There's good Democrats. There's good Republicans. There's good people in the intelligence agencies. There's good policemen. There's good firefighters. There's good Muslims. There's good Christians. I know this. I know there's good people everywhere. I feel comfortable and happy because I know the world is truly a good place and people have good souls and good hearts. We're just trapped in this confusing time. That's fine. I have love for everybody. I love seeing somebody that comes up and say, Anomaly, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. I know how it is. We're going to get it right, get it tight. But this is why my posts seem conservative, right-wing, libertarian, whatever you want to say. I hope this explains it. I've seen like hundreds of comments, and I respect that. If you're going to listen to me, even though you're not a conservative or a libertarian, which a growing number of my listeners are conservative and libertarian and Christian, if you're not one and you're going to stick around, I appreciate that. I want you because I want everybody. So I hope this video helps. And I hope you appreciate this video because I took the time to speak directly to you as well as everybody. But I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your support. So I think it's a fair question. A lot of people have accused me of this and that. Someone said, Anomaly, you're doing yayo with all the money and this and that. And I'm not. I'm not shilling for right-wing donations. I'm not shilling for Donald Trump. I'm telling the truth. I'm sorry that it's revolutionary. I'm sorry that it's not publicly acceptable. But it's not, because of all of the reasons I just mentioned. Should be pretty clear, pretty straightforward, at least something to consider. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to post my link below. The donations have been helping me so much. I've been able to stretch, fix my back a little bit. It's been hard for a year because I've been working 2 to 3 jobs for 2-3 years just trying to make money and do whatnot. So now I'm able to take things to the next level, relax a little bit, pick my hours a little more, and spend a lot of time on the videos. Thank you so much. I'm working so hard to monetize this so I don't have to, rely on donations. But as you see with Google and as you see with other platforms, they're working night and day to try to silence and make people like me not exist and not be able to monetize it. I can't really get in the music industry. I will. I'm not worried about it. But, there's a lot of politics and everything. And that's fine. People play their game. Everybody's got a different lane. This is mine. So thank you guys so much for the donations. I'm working on a book, clothing. I'm going to do all sorts of stuff, take it to the next level, patience and just prosperity. Thank you guys for joining. Have a good night.